What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the A&R Show. Today is a special episode. Macam biasalah. Kalau special episode means we have a guest, right? And if you are a pro wrestling fan, you need to watch this episode because our guest today is many things lah. He's a producer, he's a director, he's an actor. Most importantly, he is a pro wrestler. Without this man right here, there would not be a pro wrestling scene kat Malaysia pun. He is known as the Prophet of Pain, which is the coolest name I can think of lah. The Nusantara Prince.
Ooh.
Okay. Got one more line.
Okay.
Okay, it's okay. I got everything already dah. Put your hands together, everybody, for Mr. Ayez Shaukat Fonseca.
Oi.
Welcome to the show, brother.
Welcome to the show, Shaukat.
Yeah.
Actually, first of all, thank you so much for being in the show.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Yeah, I think we've been wanting to actually have you on for actually quite some time, from last year.
I remember.
And now the fact that we got you in here today, I think it's just an honor to have you here.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, brother. So, how you been, man? You're a very busy man.
Busy is good. Like,
Yeah,
I'm very my weekly schedule is almost always full, but I think that's a very good thing because in life you have to be productive. Because otherwise,
Yeah, that's true, brother. Because I saw the amount of work he's been involved in lah. If I put it in the intro tadi, I think setengah jam tak habis. Yeah, so I think we can start off with maybe you can give a bit of introduction to our viewers yang maybe don't know you that well.
Okay. If you're a fan of pro wrestling and you don't know who I am, then shame on you.
Exactly. Betul.
So I think most pro wrestling fans in Malaysia by now already know who I am, because I think a majority of Malaysians by now also know who I am. Don't even watch pro wrestling. And I don't mean it in a very blagak kind of way, but I mean it in the sense that I put in a lot of work to build my branding to the point that people know me. So I'm more fondly known as Shaukat. I'm a professional wrestler from Malaysia, the first Malaysian pro wrestler to appear on US TV and to wrestle in the market there, to be able to penetrate the American market. Possibly the second in Southeast Asia to penetrate the American market. And besides that, a lot of you guys who follow my career would know that I also come from the film industry. I am a producer, director, actor, scriptwriter, whatever it is. I do what I can to
even like stunt choreographer as well.
Action director.
I
do a lot of things.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think we can start off with like you can tell us how you actually macam got into the love for pro wrestling.
Because I think a lot of people, I mean, it's true that like when we are younger, I feel like we are kind of in the same generation as well. Looking at the age, like we all kind of like grew up with wrestling at that point of time. It was like it was the peak season for wrestling. At that point of time. Like but how was your actual journey? Because a lot of people see it and be like, oh, this is really cool, but then no one really moved forward to actually do something about it, to execute, right? So how was your journey in terms of that at the early stages?
I started watching wrestling when I was 4 years old. Back then my brother used to say those VHS tapes. Pulang lambat, you have to pay. So he used to rent out those WWF tapes back then. And I remember the first match that I watched, it was Undertaker versus Kamala.
Okay.
Crazy, and then fell in love with wrestling immediately. Grew up watching it with my siblings. And you know, like any normal healthy boy growing up, you will have the imagination. You're in a wrestling ring with your own theme song. Going on and you're doing your poses and everything. So I was one of that boy lah.
Same.
And back then in school, memang, you know, like when they showed SmackDown on TV, like the next day, everybody would talk about it, and then we try to replicate whatever we saw on TV. Even though they say don't try this at home.
You don't see the don't. Try this at home.
Exactly. I've always had it in my mind to become a pro wrestler. Because I don't know. I do believe that the feeling that I have is a lot stronger as compared to the average person.
So towards wrestling itself.
Towards wrestling. That's the reason why I think I continued to drive myself towards becoming a pro wrestler.
Because like I could remember back of me like watching wrestling, because like my dad used to watch wrestling. Like, I think if not mistaken, like they have it every single week on Wednesday or Thursday night. It's usually like at the night time where hopefully the kids are all asleep.
Tuesday night and Friday night.
And my dad will watch it. Obviously I was a lot younger. My dad was like stop me from watching it and be like, ask me to go sleep. But then I would always argue with him and wanting to watch wrestling, because it's like this is, out of everything that I watch on TV, I think wrestling was like one of the most entertaining like show. So me and my dad will like watch it like every single week. Like we'll put our mattress outside of the room, and after watching we'll just like fall asleep. It came to a point where like I will have my cousins, like when we were younger, coming around to the house, and then when my parents are out of the house, we'll like try to like reenact like all of these different moves and stuff like that.
Everyone did.
On my parents' bed, we'd be like, I want to do a suplex right now. It's crazy. But to a point where to like actually like looking at it in a very different perspective, which was yours. If like, hey, like I want to actually do this as a career. To be honest, I think it's actually quite crazy, especially like being the first one.
It's a lot of people's dreams, you know. A lot of people
But
want to do what you're doing.
It stops like it.
When I was doing a bit of research on you, I think 10 years when 2013 you met Booker T for the first time.
Yes, correct.
Right? Was that masa WWE did a show in KL? Dekat Bukit Jalil?
They came in 2012, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I went for that one.
2014. But they sent him down to do some promotional work, if I'm not mistaken. So at that point, it was TV3. TV3, they had, at that point, they had rights to tayangkan, I think it was SmackDown. Delayed tayangan. So they sent him to do some promotion. So they did a contest to have lunch with Booker T.
Okay. What was the contest?
You had to cosplay as a WWE superstar.
What was your name?
I did Kane.
Damn.
So I did his mask with the cardboard and everything. So I had the opportunity to have lunch with him. So I asked him the question. I said, I want to be a pro wrestler, but there's no such thing in Malaysia. The industry doesn't exist. So what should I do? So he was the one who actually gave me the advice. If you wanted to be a pro wrestler and you know that there's no industry in Malaysia, you know that you have been waiting for years, there's no school in Malaysia. So why not be the first person to start it? So I took his advice.
Within a year you started.
Crazy.
That was the nudge that I needed to start.
I think it's more like you already like hey, I think I really need to do it, but then you just didn't have that push factor.
I just needed that push to start the thing.
The cherry on the cake,
for sure.
basically to start straight away. And being the pioneer as well, like to be honest, like there's a lot of struggles being a pioneer on doing anything.
Man.
Like you mentioned, being a pioneer in doing anything is difficult. Imagine being a pioneer doing something like pro wrestling.
Exactly. Like what were the challenges like you actually went through, like actually wanting to start wrestling as a federation here in Malaysia?
I wouldn't know where to start.
Exactly.
So being in the film industry, I started out doing stunts first, and then from there I kind of like figure out like, pro wrestling is like stunt. It's about the same thing. It's just that they have their techniques. So I will watch all the videos in like super slow-mo, break down like proper way to fall and everything. So I created my own syllabus in that sense. So I did an audition for pro wrestlers, and quite a few people came, and then 4 of them joined on board first. So for the whole year we were just training to put on a show.
So where do you guys train? Like I'm sure like you need a venue, you need a ring basically.
We were training in a boxing ring back then, a Muay Thai ring.
Okay. And was the flooring suitable?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
It's completely different boxing ring.
Your sports semua sakit.
But I think it made us who we are today. Like going through all the struggles. Like for me, starting out definitely is financial, because you open up something new. There's a lot of cost involved in it. Then there's running costs as well. And there's only 4 students for the whole 1 year, 1.5 years. So I had to do extra jobs, like doing freelance script writing and video editing. I did more stunt jobs than I possibly can, just to cover the running costs of pro wrestling and at the same time take care of my family.
Was there any government help that was involved into starting out wrestling here in Malaysia?
Nampak tak gelak.
Ilham is like, nah man.
Until today memang tak ada.
Why is that so though? Because like I mean like it is a form of art and it is a form of martial art as well.
Yeah,
It's a sport as well.
Okay, so there's a lot of reasons that they've given. But I'm also not the kind of person who would point fingers and say, oh, diorang tak nak tolong lah, because I think
It's just like a negative mentality.
Yeah, that's a negative mentality, and I think it's I don't want to be entitled for government help or anything. So I'm the kind of person who would always, like find ways or say if I cannot get grant from the government, what can I do instead? And at the same time, I'm pretty sure there are many reasons why they cannot help. Like maybe there's KPI, maybe they have to be answerable to a lot of different boards. Why should we support pro wrestling? Maybe my paperwork isn't strong enough. So there must be a reason that I need to improve on. So that's my kind of mindset when it comes to this kind of things.
Could be on their end also, maybe budgeting ke. No? Alright.
No, man.
Government is
They
rich.
have money.
That's true.
They have money, dude.
That's true.
I want to just backtrack just a little bit before we actually move forward, because even though we have already spoken to a stage where it's you being involved in wrestling, but I want to be a bit more curious towards like your background a little bit on when you were a kid, right? How was it like growing up, and where did you grow up in? Like how was the situation, environment at that point of time?
Okay, so I grew up in an environment where my family wasn't doing well. I come from a poor family, and we grew up in Padang Jaya. Padang Jaya is somewhere around Ampang lah, basically.
Okay.
And growing up, I'm not the kind of person who would ever play sports.
Okay.
I'm very docile in the sense where I'm a nerd lah, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
Nerd for me shouldn't be used in a derogatory term, but for me, I think it's more of a bookworm, a person who doesn't, play sports, that kind of person. So a lot of my friends from sekolah rendah, sekolah menengah, when they see me today, everyone is surprised, like, what happened to this boy? Like, how did he become an international pro wrestler? When back then he was very, quiet, introverted. I'm actually very introverted. It's just that I found a way to adjust when the time comes. Right. So a lot of my friends, if you ask them back then, a lot of them wouldn't expect me to be how I am today.
Yeah, for sure. Do you remember what you studied in? What did you study in college this time?
I did medical lab technology. I graduated first class honors. 4.8 CGPA.
Oh my God!
To the point where even I received scholarship offers to continue my studies in medicine. So in India, in which I turned down because at that point I was just studying for the sake of my parents. Asian parents kind of, they have this mindset, you have to jadi doctor, kau kena jadi engineer. Exactly. So I had to do something just to give them a peace of mind, knowing that if anything happens, I have a safety net. That's my safety net, because I don't come from a privileged family or generational wealth where if things don't work out for them, bapak boleh tolong.
All money.
Exactly.
All money club, dude.
Exactly. So I had to build my own safety net by graduating with good results and everything. So I know if pro wrestling or filmmaking doesn't work out, I have something to fall back on.
True.
So I gave them that peace of mind. I said, okay, you know what? I've done my diploma. Now let me pursue my career, which they allowed.
What did your dad and your mom do? If you don't mind me asking, what was
my dad back then? He was an accountant. And then he did business as well. Okay. My mom was a secretary for engineering company.
Okay.
Very traditional.
To be honest, like
more or less like my family as well.
To be honest, like coming from from Ampang. I know Ampang is like, I'm not trying to be stereotypical. Like Ampang do have a lot of Malay people. Right?
Our home ground.
Ampang.
Home ground.
Coming from Ampang and like listening to your English, I think like it's like your English is actually really really good.
I think I can credit that to my dad, because my dad is Eurasian. So in our household, memang we speak English all the time. It's just that back then I used to speak in a very Malaysian English accent.
I
had to adapt to the American accent because they had difficulty understanding the way I speak. Can I have a glass of water? Sorry, excuse me.
Water.
Water. Sorry, excuse me. Water. Oh, okay. Oh, you mean a glass of water? Okay.
Oh yeah.
It was me. Water. Understand though?
So I had to adapt to the American accent, and somehow it stuck with me.
But I couldn't tell that you're an introvert, you know, bro, because all your interviews and seeing you in the ring, it's.
I think it's one of those like you kind of like you switch it on.
Yeah,
right? You have a switch on and switch off button.
Because if you, this is an advice to any introverts out there, like if you guys were to be successful in whatever field you want to be in, you have to be able to switch on and off.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, this world, when it comes to success, it's all about networking, getting to know people. It's all about building bridges and everything, right? So if you were to just be on your own and everything, you're not gonna berkembang. So like for me, like for today itself, I have like 4 meetings and this podcast, right? So for me, it's very tiring to be around people. But as soon as I get back,
faham. Yeah. Introvert maximum. Faham. Okay, this is going back into pro wrestling lah. Okay, your finisher is called the NK driver.
Correct.
And named after your elders, huh?
Yeah, my eldest daughter.
Okay. How important is a finishing move to pro wrestlers? And how long usually does it take for someone to macam come up with one, you have to check, because I'm sure you have to check with other people macam we don't want to copy your finishing move, my guy. Like how does that politics work in
pro wrestling?
In pro wrestling.
Yeah, I mean like finishes is one of the most important thing to a pro wrestler. It is part of our branding. Branding as a pro wrestler, because pro wrestlers it's a brand. Let's say for example, Shaukat. I'm a brand. I'm not an athlete. I'm not a wrestler. I'm not a fighter. I'm an actor and a brand. So like each superstars, that is the reason why WWE label their wrestlers as superstars. Because we are all individual brands. So like you have Triple H, the Game, the Cerebral Assassin. His finisher is the Pedigree.
The Rock is like the people's
elbow and rock bottom, and then Stone Cold with the Stone Cold Stunner. And every single time when you mention Stone Cold Steve Austin, stunner. Every time you mention The Rock, people's elbow, rock bottom. So it is synonymous with their identity and branding as a pro wrestler. So the same goes as mine. Mine is the NK driver and the Prophecy Fulfilled. Prophecy Fulfilled is my running elbow. So usually I have 2 variations. Running elbow is usually when I go up against a lot bigger opponents. It gets a lot technical for me to take care of the safety when I land them in the driver. So it's very important, and like you mentioned, it's always trial and error. What sticks with the audience? Because you have to start doing something and you see how do they react. Which one gets the most amount of reaction? Which one you can do that looks the best. So mine for NK driver, I think it was one of the probably my first finisher, and it kind of stick, and a lot of people loved it immediately because of how technical it looks. And I'm just blessed in that sense, because a lot of superstars take so long for them, like maybe 1 year, 2 years to be able to establish a finisher.
And has yours evolved over the years?
Most of the time, the NK driver has been the mainstay. I think I can, so far the heaviest person I have done to is about 120 kilos. So I can still be able to do it. Usually the technicality is when the person is a bit too bulky, or they're not lean enough, because or they don't have strong core. Because it's always a tango, it's always a two people thing. But most of the time I'm able to perform it. Because
we were saying, even like before we started shooting, like me and Rick used to be dancers. So we understand timing.
Exactly.
Being in front of people, like making sure what you practice looks exactly like,
And I'm pretty sure you guys go through the same thing where you have a routine, right? And then when you perform it and you listen to the reaction. So it's the exact same thing as pro wrestling.
It's like, for example, like The Rock, like I think he has like a few finishing moves. Like, I don't know if it's finishing move, like he has this crowd-driven moves. Like one of it is like he'll punch the opponent,
and he'll split his hand.
Split his hand.
So those are called signatures.
Signatures,
So finisher is the one that wins you the match, which is usually the people's elbow, rock bottom. And then you have the signatures, which are You know, the way he strikes, and then he has the spine buster, the DDT, all of those stuff.
That's finishers lah. But your mic skills, how does someone train for that kind of thing, bro?
For modern pro wrestlers, I think they're more blessed in a sense where there's a lot of resources. Resources in the sense of their classes. So there's speech class, there's speech as in like public speaking.
Okay.
They'll teach you intonation, they'll teach you rhythm, pacing, so on and so forth. So I think a lot of modern superstars, like even in the WWE, the ones who are up and coming, they would take speech classes, definitely. And like for me, I think one of the most important aspect is understanding how to capture emotion. So that comes with improv and acting. So you can, like these days it's very easy, you can take classes as well for improv, you can take classes for acting, how to get people to be more engaged with what you're saying, that kind of thing. But for me, because I've been in the film industry for so long and I've been a director as well, so I know the techniques needed in order to do those stuff. So it comes naturally to me in that sense.
How do you think, in terms of you speaking, how do you find the balance as well as like know that like if I say these kind of things and this intonation, it will get the crowd moving?
I think I'm very, very good at it. Yes. I know how to capture emotion, I know how to capture attention, and it's very fun. It's like a game to me because when I do it and I stare them in the eyes and everything, okay, ni I dapat. So it's very fun, but it's very difficult to get to that point as well. I think it probably took me about like 7 or 8 years to be able to master that.
God.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Because like last time when I was watching wrestling lah back then, I would really I'm like, oh, they're talking. I want to get straight to the matches. But now I really appreciate all the talking smack and the promos. Because you can see like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's able to capture. Like the latest one that I like to watch, you should watch this. It's between these two wrestlers called CM Punk and Seth Rollins. They are masters of just capturing people's emotions, getting people to get like pissed off, and hyped up for matches.
They think this thing is actually one of the most difficult to master. It's called ring psychology.
Okay.
So this one is actually a term that pro wrestlers use. Ring psychology is understanding how to evoke certain emotions, how to make them feel pissed off, how to make them feel angry, sad, how to make them sympathize for the good guys. So this one is called ring psychology, and it's a lost art in pro wrestling because a lot of wrestlers, like dancers, they don't improv. They have a plan, they stick to it. So they, even if the audience deep down meaning when they are no longer reacting the way that you want them to react. A lot of the younger superstars would tend to stick to the routine all the way to the end because they're too afraid of messing up. So the reason why I believe like wrestlers back then were more engaging is because they have the ability to improv and read the emotions of the audience. Like if you're not feeling it, they will switch it up, and then we feel connected to them.
That looks like a skill that's needed 8 years of training lah.
Smarting up as well, because a lot of young superstars, they have that ego where I know what I'm doing. They don't want to listen to the older guys, but that's the reason why the older guys will be able to bring pro wrestling to its peak back then.
Makes sense.
But in terms of like things that like are being said on stage, in the ring itself, right, to the crowd, are these things like I wouldn't want to like, what is it like scripted, or is something like it's already written, or this is what we want you to say, or is it like, okay, this is what we want you to convey, but then you can say whatever you want that conveys this message? How does it go?
So I perform for OVW, OVW and ROW. So OVW is more polished in a sense where it's a whole bigger production and everything. ROW is a balance. It's a huge production as well. But they are great in a sense where they allow students to try and be creative and try to get.
And how are these referees telling you? How do you know what to look at a certain point of time?
That separates a good worker and someone who is less experienced.
I see.
Because while you are performing, you cannot make it obvious that you're listening to the referee. Because while you're performing, you're doing your routine, you're remembering the spots, you're trying to keep your opponent safe, you're trying to engage the audience, you need to work the cameras, and then you need to work the live audience as well. And at the same time, you're receiving instructions from the ref. all the time, like camera 11, camera 7, camera 4, face down, face up. Yeah, more pain. The referees play a very important role in the sense where they are receiving notes from producers and directors backstage through their earpiece. So the referees are the ones who are telling you production notes. So it's how good you are that makes the company loves you even more.
I see. No wonder refs always have
That
earpiece.
Yeah.
I was thinking, who is this guy talking to? Hello,
Oh,
Ma. Sorry, I'm working.
This is crazy because I never knew that like referees actually play that much of an important role than just making sure everything's okay on the ring.
And the reason why I feel, like a lot of wrestlers, they don't share these kind of things. But the reason why I feel I need to share is because it builds more respect from the audience on the things that we do. Because if you cuba suruh korang buat and see whether boleh buat ke tak. Because you are performing, you need to get the audience punya attention. At the same time, you are listening to instruction. You need to remember where camera 11 is, where camera 3
Exactly,
is, and everything. And without having that, you see that a lot in younger wrestlers, or wrestlers in training,
like kind of blur, or you're thinking
exactly.
kind of face,
There's that short disconnect with that moment in a match.
As dancers, we also go through the same thing. Kalau halfway, one of us forget the choreography. Obvious nak mampus that you are like just looking at somebody and macam especially live kan when you doing on stage. So
but
man,
if you're in the moment,
man.
if you do something like a move that's a bit like incorrect, but you are very nonchalant about it, it's when like people may think, oh, maybe that's part of the routine.
Yeah, exactly.
Potentially,
you must be able to know how to cover up.
And before you getting into like a match with any wrestlers, right? Like how much training that goes into place, like
planning.
Okay, I do have I think it's like a lot of questions into one big question in terms of like how much training you guys go through, what are the moves that you guys will work together with. Hey, this is what I'm gonna do at this time. This is what I'm gonna do my signature move here. How are you gonna start the match? How are you gonna end the match? Like, do we know who's gonna win by the end of the training as well?
Or do you just let it wing it?
I think there's a lot of questions into it.
Right, so
sorry.
Basically, as pro wrestlers, on a professional level, like for example, like for me, I've been in OVW and OW, right?
Yeah.
On a professional level, very little time because, for example, when we do shows, when we tape shows, I don't know why they call it tape when it's digital these days, but when we tape shows, we travel from city to city. So we don't have time to actually train or anything, and then we only receive the booking, or in layman terms, the script. You only receive the booking on that day itself. So most of the time, all of us are professional enough to the point where we'll just ask each other like, what you want to do? Here's what I want to do. And then we just swing it in the ring.
Oh, wow.
Exactly. So we must be able to know like let's say for example, if I'm telling this guy to take my finisher and he hasn't taken it before, I'll just verbally explain to him like, you need this, and I'll tuck your head in for safety. I'll take care of you. So he'll need to trust me that I'll be able to do it on him.
Okay.
So we'll just swing it in the ring. Most of the time, there's no training whatsoever.
That is so insane.
Oh, shit, that's insane.
Because I cannot imagine like, let's say we are about to dance kan, macam, bro, I think bantai je. We just go with the flow.
I'll do one move here and then you see how it goes.
Have you guys watched the movie The Wrestler, the Mickey Rourke one?
The Mickey Rourke one I watched.
Yeah. So if you see, there's a scene when he came for the show, right? And they were just discussing like, so what you wanna do? So everything is just verbal. We never physically do stuff because we need to conserve our energy. It's very tiring to be on a tour and to do the tapings. And sometimes like for, let's say in a day, I have like 3 matches to tape. So I need to conserve the energy. I'm not gonna go through with them, my stuff, because it's gonna be very tiring. So it's like, you know what? This is what we're gonna do. We just discuss the story and everything. This is how it's gonna end. Okay, let's do it. So we listen to the audience, see how it goes.
Okay. But of course, like in the matches, because you and him are together, right? I'm sure there's a lot of communication that happens within that match when you are with that wrestler. Do you?
All the time.
Like it's so insane that we don't see it.
You guys
we don't see it.
It's so insane.
We talk all the time. Every single minute, every single second, we just communicating to each other.
What are the main things that you guys talk about in the match itself? Like the most common thing that you will always be like, oh, we will talk about this.
So I'm just going to give you an example of a match, right? Let's say, for example, if I'm going up against someone who is less experienced than I am, usually the things that we'll go through is like I'll tell him to react how I want him to react, like duck this move, take my boot meaning receive a kick to the face, take my boot, and then take a bump, meaning he needs to fall for the move. So I don't even tell him the technique. I just say take a bump, so he knows that he needs to fall for this move.
Body
and everything.
muscle memory, right? At that
Exactly.
point.
I think it's also like certain terms that as wrestlers, as you experienced wrestlers, you kind of know all these terms already.
And I'll be like, slow down, sell more, sell meaning the expression and everything. Face up, look at the camera to the left. Sometimes when we go up against least experienced guys, they are too focused on what they're doing in the ring. They tend to forget to perform for the audience and for the TVs.
Oh, okay.
So I'll help to guide them as well. Take your time, slow down. Fire up, meaning the emotion. They need to show more emotion, that kind of thing.
Because I see a lot of interviews with WWE wrestlers also, and they have like huge respect for the OGs, because
that was how it was back then.
Because they were doing what he was doing. He was guiding all these new guys, just to make them look good. I saw this interview between with Cody Rhodes. Do you know who Cody Rhodes is?
Oh, with that Undertaker one, is it?
The bomb he took for Undertaker.
The Royal Rumble thing.
So basically, Undertaker took a bomb for him. And at that point of time, he's still someone macam, dude, you are still down there. But the fact that he is willing to take a bump from a move that's from a drop kick to
it's
us
a basic,
who watch, it's basic. It's not a finishing move, nothing. So makes sense, man.
And people who are the vets or the legends or people who are mature enough in the industry, we have no problem to make everyone else around us look good. That's the most important thing.
What's the term for it? Going over? Is it going over?
Going over is when you win a match. So
putting someone over.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like I'll sell like crazy for the bad guy that is
he's really bad guy lah.
No, not bad in the sense as in like
the villain,
the villain.
Okay.
Because I'm a baby face. Everywhere I go, no matter where I go, audience love me. So they always put me as a baby face. So when the villain starts to beat me up and everything, I'll do my best to make them look good as well. So that will propel their name as the villain as well.
Okay.
Do you plan to become a heel anytime soon?
If they give me the opportunity, I'd love to.
What's a heel?
So the good, layman term, the good guys.
You know so many terms that I don't know.
Brother. Bijaksana. Face is the good guys. Heel are all the bad guys. That's their term.
Yep.
So either be face or heel.
Okay.
Because a lot of people love being heels.
Yep.
Apparently, to win the crowd's heart, apparently you have to be the heel first, and then you become the good guy. Is it true?
It doesn't really matter. Like for me, I've been a face all my life. Even when I debut in the States, they already put me as a face because I know how to work. I know how to get the audience to be behind
me.
Side,
right.
Okay.
So it's just how good you are. The reason why people love to be a heel is because it's so easy to be hated rather than being cheered on. When you see someone new, it's so easy to be like siapa Mamat ni rather than I want to cheer for this guy. So it's something very difficult, but it's something that I'm very good at as well.
Okay, out of this one I want to ask, out of all the spots that you've taken, which one is the most painful to receive?
Okay, so a lot of people don't know that I was in the combat sports as well. In my high school years, all the way until I was 19, actually. I was doing Muay Thai, MMA. Muay Thai and MMA lah mainly. So for Muay Thai, I sampai wakil Malaysia to that point.
Let me tell the audience first. So, see you guys, he can beat you up in the ring and outside the ring. In your home also, he can knock you out. So, watch your mouth, everyone.
I pernah wakil Malaysia for Muay Thai, and I did MMA only like for 4 matches. Because back then, our age back then, we didn't have the avenue for that. So it was a growing scene in Malaysia, and the pay was crap back then. As compared to what 1FC now is today. 1FC is paying crazy money. Back then, per match is like 500 to win, 300 if you lose.
My God.
Exactly. And these days, they're getting paid like 15k, 20k for a fight.
Oh wow, that's really good actually.
And I'm 37 now, so a bit too late. I'm not in my prime anymore to be doing combat sports. But if I was still in my prime, I certainly do combat sports. So yang muda-muda tu stop doing TikToks and
like be
more productive in your lives. So Well, and I'm also the only person in Malaysia to have certification to teach catch as catch can wrestling, which is the classic style of wrestling. It's the one where it's snap no tap. So catch as catch can is from the lineage of Billy Robinson, Kazushi Sakuraba. He's known as a Gracie Killer for doing catch wrestling. There's Josh Barnett from the UFC. So what we do is we can submit anyone from any position. It's a killer kind of wrestling rather than sports kind of wrestling. But the reason why I don't teach it is because there's no market here in Malaysia, and my focus now is on my career. Right. I did Muay Thai, I did wrestling, I did MMA, but wrestling is the most difficult in the sense where you need to be able to multitask while you're doing it. You need to be super athletic and fit. You need to be able to absorb impact. You need to go to the gym and build your physique because your body is part of your branding as well. So there's a lot of things that you need to do. You need to have good mic skills. You need to have charisma. You must be able to perform to capture the audience emotion and attention and everything. Even when I'm training for Muay Thai back then, yang paling teruk pun is you're tired. That's it. They'll burn you out like crazy. Like jog for
cardio
jog for 4 miles, and then you need to do skipping, rope skipping for like half an hour. Like hundreds of kicks on the back and everything. And then when doing sparring pun, it's always 50% impact.
Power
And even then, during sparring, you're able to block and dodge. In pro wrestling, the way we hit someone is the same strength as how a sparring is. So it's strong enough to generate sound, but not too strong to
knock someone out,
to knock the person out or leave bruises.
You seem like a person that actually, one is very detail oriented. You kind of have plans towards what you want to do. All right, you kind of like know what your timeline is, right? Like talking about the fact that like WWE is basically like the kind of like the end goal for any wrestler that wants to make it professional, right? And looking at the stage of life that you're in right now, where and when would the timeline be that you feel that, hey, if I the next thing I need to do is this step, and now I'll be in WWE?
I've already begun the steps needed to take myself there, basically, and it's been lined out for the past 2 years, I think. All the way until today, and I'm still doing it.
Would you be able to describe what are the things that you are doing?
So, for example, like you need to smarten up about the business. A lot of pro wrestlers, they join pro wrestling just for the sake of the glamour. They're like, I want to be a pro wrestler and have fans and everything. Exactly. But for me, when I started this, I already tahu yang I want to get myself to the WWE. But I only knew about the steps that I need to take back then in 2020 during the pandemic, right? So during the pandemic, I'm the kind of person who, like, I always do things. I cannot sit still. So back then I was asking myself, like, what can I do to be more productive while I'm staying at home? So I reached out to my mentors overseas and everyone yang I know be able to help me towards this goal. And then I paid them a lot of money to mentor me to get to the WWE. So people like Booker T, people like Tom Pritchard. Tom Pritchard is the guy who trains The Rock. So they gave me a blueprint of what WWE is looking for. So you need to have good physique, you need to have good stamina, good charisma, you need to have good mic skills, you need to be able to connect with the audience, you need to build your branding and your value. So every single thing that they've taught me, I've already laid in motion, like everything that I need to do in order to get to where I am. So that's why when you see me in 2020 and you see me today, even in the physical sense, the way I look back then and today I look not like an average Joe lah. I turn heads when I walk down the road and everything. So that is just one of the things that I put in a lot of effort. So like when you ask, makan apa kan? It's okay. I cook my own meals.
I saw his abs. I know already lah.
You can see
nothing on Grab will fuel this man.
So that's just one of the things that I do to take myself closer towards the goal. But it's still ongoing. And I'm pretty confident. And like life is it's a journey.
Yeah.
Once you know your end goal, you need to be able to know the steps you need to take in order to get to the end goal.
You reverse engineer.
So you just need to be patient and trust the process and take it step by step and bring yourself towards your goal.
And what stage are you in, like in that journey?
The end game.
Oh, right.
Pretty confident.
Yeah.
Bro, I 100% believe him.
Yeah.
He's done everything already. That people ask you to do. And, you know?
The fact that you're very confident about it, and of course, like it's not to show off.
Exactly.
Yeah, the fact that you're very confident about like the journey made me feel that like, hey, like it's very, very possible. And what? Because the fact that you are 37, right? Like, do you feel that like, hey, like I'm actually like a bit.
It's time catching up. It's time catching up
to like, or like you're like, hey, it's okay. 37, I'm still able to do it.
So me 2 years back, I used to have that perception. I would think that alamak, it's too late for me to get to the WWE because they would sign guys who are who are young, who are big and tall, and have potential. Because that's the main that's the main criteria of new superstars
yang can go far.
That is being that WWE wants to sign.
Okay.
So I told myself because it came out in the news actually, WWE is only looking for big, tall. You jangan marah.
Relax.
Sorry.
Go home dah AEW.
I'm so sorry you guys. I'm stuck in there. So it came out in the news that WWE is only looking for people who are big, tall, and athletically gifted.
Yeah.
I told myself at that point, because a lot of people in Southeast Asia, they felt upset, they felt heartbroken, because let's face it, Asians, we are not as huge as the people there.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I told myself, like, you know what? And one of the criteria is they need to be young, under the age of 25. So there's a lot of time to build them into superstars.
Oh, okay.
So I told myself at that point, at first I processed the information. So it's normal as human beings to process things first.
Yeah.
So remember I felt down, so like, cannot, too late already. Yeah. So it's normal as a human being to process things at first. So it took me about maybe a day or two. I was upset and down. And then I told myself, like, you know what, I'm going to prove to these people that I'm going to be the first short and old guy that they're going to sign.
After Rey Mysterio.
Dah lah, it took him 2 days je for feeling down. Usually for me, 6 days, working days. Isnin Jumaat, so Isnin depan.
Because I'm very objective driven. So it's like, what's the point of feeling upset? It's just going to take time out of your time and you can be more productive, right?
Yeah.
So I just processed it, and then I told myself, like, let's prove to these people that I'll be the first short and old person that they're going to sign. That's it.
Wait, how tall was Rey Mysterio?
Mysterio is he's built as 5'6".
Okay.
Sorry, Mysterio, but in real life he's about 5'4".
Oh, it's 5'4".
So about 5'4", 5'3" ish.
When you mean like it's built as in like with the outfits and with.
No, I say like build. His build weight. He's the one that they publicized.
I see.
Oh.
Okay.
A lot of wrestlers are overbuilt.
Yeah.
From the actual height, even mine in the States. Yeah.
I'm interested in your training routine because like I was talking to you before this, a lot of my friends who are in the bodybuilding line semua, they're not even flexible enough to pick up stuff pun kadang-kadang. You know? So for wrestlers to be able to do all these things and be
having hands at the back and things like that.
you know, like being buff and be able to do all these high flying moves and whatever, how is the training like? I think that's the reason why a lot of people disrespect the sport, you know, because they don't know how much work is put into training. You know what I mean?
And we can go back to the question that they asked, which sport is the toughest that I've done, right? Pro wrestling definitely is the toughest in a sense where you need to be an all-rounder. It's not just the physical appearance, but you must also have good mobility. You must be athletic. So you need to train like an all-rounder. It's so difficult. You need to train like an Olympian, for example. Because I go to the gym for hypertrophy training.
Okay.
And then I need to do my mobility exercises every day, because especially with the age now. And then after that, I need to do explosive training in order to be able to perform on a higher level.
My God.
And at the same time, at nights, I would train pro wrestling itself, just to make sure that I don't get ring rust.
All one day?
Usually the mobility, the hypertrophy and the explosive every morning I buat. Wrestling for now I'm at a point where I can just maintain, so it's about like 2 to 3 times a day.
Okay.
A week. Yeah.
A week. My God.
If you don't mind sharing, right, what is like your day to day? Like, what do you do like from morning to night?
So I start my day very, very early. I think this is the advice you'll hear from any millionaire or successful person.
Wake up at 4:30.
Exactly. I wake up at 4:30.
Oh, for real?
Is that you?
I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. So usually what happens is I have my morning ritual. So I wake up and then I'll do a meditation. So first I'll start with the mobility training first. Meaning I'll do my stretches, my yoga and everything, and then I sit down and I meditate. Meditate is not really like, you know, like not the spiritual meditating, but more like visualizing my day moving forward, or visualizing my week, or having a breakdown in my mind of the things that I need to achieve this week.
Okay.
Or the day. If I want to be more specific, I'll break it down on a day basis. And then after that, I'll go to the gym. I'll go to the gym, probably 3 hours of training. 3 hours, as in like probably 1.5 hours of
lifting as well as
cardio.
cardio.
1.5 hours of hypertrophy, and then 1 hour of cardio, and then about half an hour of explosive training. So by the time I'm done with everything, it's about 9 in the morning. So I'll come back, I'll have my breakfast, my first meal of the day, and then I'll have a power nap for half an hour. I'll start my day around 10:30 in the morning. So that pretty much gives me an edge over everybody else. I've done all the things I need to do in the first portion in the morning. Then I'll proceed to my business work. When it comes to from 10:30 to 6 p.m. it's work.
To be honest, I actually get really, I mean, I don't wake up like early all the time, right? But when I do wake up early,
Sorry. I've known him for so long. So I know how many times he wakes up at 4:30.
yo, I'm up by the way. I'm like, yo, Amir, are you up? You're not, right?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, so when I do wake up like really early, but if it's early, it's like 5:30, like it's not even 4:30. Having to go to the gym in the morning when like no one is like it's dark still, there's no cars on the road, and knowing the fact that people are still asleep while I'm in the gym like actually pumping iron. And then coming back home, having my breakfast, like doing like already starting work even before like it's 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock in the morning. But knowing that for a fact that people are still asleep, kind of like makes me like, it's like a weird dopamine kick that I
exactly.
get.
I love that feeling of starting the day early. There's nobody else that is looking out.
You're still asleep. I'm in the gym.
I was planning my gym workout while you guys are already at the gym.
In your dreams.
In my dreams, bench pressing lah, bagai bangun.
So we can say that you were visualizing in your mind.
Yes.
It's just a bit lambat lah, but
Lama visualizing kau 8 ke 10 jam.
But okay lah, moving forward lah, this one I want to ask, who is your top 5 goats of
susah lah, top 5. Dah lah, number 1 I know them personally. A lot of them I know them personally.
Itulah, I was planning this question. And then but when he said dia dengan all these big guys, all the buddy dah, I said, alamak, how am I gonna?
Okay. On the top of my head memang tak ada. But let's say if you wanna ask kan, I'll start with number 1 because I don't have a ranking.
Okay, alright. There's no ranking lah.
Number 1 definitely is Undertaker.
Okay.
Undertaker, reason being he's the first person that I watched and the superstar that I idolized growing up, and because of him I wanted to be a pro wrestler.
Yeah.
So memang he's number 1.
Yes. Yeah.
Number 2 is Booker T.
Of course.
Definitely. I know he'll be upset because I put him number 2 after Undertaker. Because Undertaker did not help me as much as he did to get my name out there. But Booker T is number 2 mainly because he was the first person who pushed me to start pro wrestling in Malaysia. And then coincidentally in 2020, he saw my match. He saw my match because it was being passed around by vets, by friends and everything. And because of that, he reconnected with me and he wanted to bring me down to Reality of Wrestling, his company in the States. And that was when I told him, like, do you remember the boy you met in Malaysia? You had lunch with him and you gave him advice.
He doesn't remember.
He doesn't remember. So like,
so dope.
So when I told him about it, then he was like, that was you? And that was me.
Oh shit.
He actually had chills and tears in his eyes.
Oh,
because,
for real? That's so dope.
man.
Dude, that's crazy. Like,
That's insane.
Yeah, to have that feeling.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for him to be able to achieve that as well, like pushing someone, and this person actually did something and grew up to become who I am today. So he was so proud of it. That sealed the deal up, basically. Like, you know what? Let's get you to ROW. I need to introduce you to the world. So he was the one who gave me my first American TV debut as well.
Wow.
So definitely number 2.
Yeah.
Damn.
345 tak tahu lah siapa.
It's okay, man.
Wait, but if you had to pick 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
If
Right?
yeah.
If you had to pick.
Ramai. Okay, number 3 Triple H because he's my future boss.
Yay!
Pak
Mr.
Kipas.
Hunter, sir.
Kipas.
Nanti dia tak faham kipas apa.
But
Apa fan?
but Triple H memang one of the persons that I grew up idolizing because of the way he,
Presents himself.
exactly the aura. And he's someone that I used to emulate a lot when I was a kid.
Man.
The water
Yeah, the
spray.
water
Water
Slash.
spray, and we didn't have middle fingers. We just
Exactly.
we had suck it, dude.
Exactly. So
Right.
even the way I work, the way I move in the ring, there's a lot of things in Triple H that I
Influenced
that I
by
bring out
his.
as well. Exactly.
Oh, that's so cool.
So number 4, I would say it's a draw between Tajiri and Hurricane.
You had matches with both of
I had
them,
matches
eh?
with both of them.
So sick, though.
Tajiri and Hurricane mainly because of the same thing as Triple H. A lot of my movements are influenced by the way they work. And because if you see Shaukat, you'll see Undertaker, you'll see Booker T, you'll see Triple H, Tajiri and Hurricane. Definitely. Number 5, susah. Number 5, tak payah, 4 je lah.
Okay.
That 2 person can
Because the fanning is important.
Is that the reason why you didn't pick The Rock?
I don't know, like The Rock is one of the stakeholders of WWE today, so I don't have anything bad to say about him.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I didn't know he was one of the stakeholders.
He's one of the stakeholders.
Oh wow.
One of the board members.
That's insane.
Got one scene.
Yeah.
I think there was one match. It was WrestleMania, I think.
Yeah.
And the referee came. He told the referee, "Shut up, I'm your boss." I was like, "Damn, what a badass, man!"
It's like I admire the trailblazers, like obviously like Austin, The Rock. It's just that I don't know how to rank them because everyone is so good. Austin, The Rock, then there's Jericho, and then even John Cena,
Like Shawn Michaels.
Definitely Shawn Michaels.
Like his charisma is insane.
Shawn Michaels is definitely up there. Bret Hitman Hart. So Kurt Angle, Kane. Too many of them that I idolize, so I cannot.
It's true lah.
I understand.
But if the names that I mentioned, memang they played a role in my career, the way they influenced the way I perform and everything, so definitely have to mention them.
Okay. Being a wrestling fan, I think throughout my years, I faced a lot of negativity, all these people saying otherwise, saying hey, this is scripted lah, why you still watching? Saya tengok boxing je. And I get annoyed because this is what I tell them lah. You watch TVC, right? You watch TV series, right? They've been to a theater before. What's the difference? You tell me.
Exactly. Like
Right?
why are they comparing boxing, MMA, combat sports with pro wrestling?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a two whole different thing.
It's not apple to apple.
Exactly.
Kan?
Pro wrestling is entertainment. It's theater. It's live stunt show. It is definitely not combat sports.
True.
And even until today, we still get a lot of those comments.
Oh
on
God,
social media
I tell
and
you,
everything.
I
Like,
think
bang, kenapa tak masuk MMA bang?
dah penat lah brother. So I hope like macam your explanation about the training process and the pain you go through, I hope it shines a bit of light on people who actually say otherwise. It's not as easy as you do to your brother atas katil. Katil mak memanglah sedap. You try.
It's good for your back.
Good. Chiropractor tak payah pergi. So man, like do you still face this kind of like macam hate comments?
Definitely. To the point where benda ni dah biasa lah. So I no longer take offense or I no longer care about what people say. It's for me, it's simple because it's the modern day where information is at your fingertips, right? Like people already know wrestling is scripted. People know it's a form of performance and theater, right?
Yeah.
So even through this podcast, like I'm sharing stuff because you mentioned earlier, right? Like you hope it would shine light and people would respect it. But here's the thing, though. Majority of human beings are idiots in a sense where they refuse to change their perspective on things. So I think that is not just in Malaysia, like everywhere in the world. A lot of people think that my perspective is yang betul.
Okay.
So even if we try to educate them on things,
there's no point.
There's no point because they're just dumb.
It's just like they think that the way that they think is
their ego lah. I think that's the problem with people nowadays.
But they don't know that
everywhere.
there are certain things when they say things like you don't know what you don't know. So exactly, like you don't know what you don't know.
The best part is like when we share a proven fact, scientific actual fact, pun they still say, oh but salah ni.
The earth is flat.
I think you're at a point macam no point trying to convince these people dah. If you like it, you watch it.
Exactly.
If you don't like it, I tengok.
Betul. So I just want to share with you guys. The ring is built to absorb impact, but if you are not 100 kg and above, it doesn't do squat.
Oh, for real?
Because it's still beams. It's still solid iron beams. So when you are huge, when you take a bump, if you are heavy, it's going to bend a bit to absorb the impact. But someone like my weight, I'm like 70 kilos. If I take a bump, it's still plank. Still no difference at all. So it's still
how loud it sounds directly translates to how much pain is going through your body.
And the mats that we use, the foam, is the same as those MMA mats, the judo mats. Same thing. So the pain is like when I'm getting slammed in the ring, it feels exactly like getting slammed on MMA cage, for example. And these days in Malaysia, because yes, in Malaysia lah. One of the ways for us to promote pro wrestling is to have it as a sideshow entertainment for Muay Thai shows. It has been going on for the past 4 or 5 months now. So we are like the halftime entertainment for Muay Thai guys. So my boys would wrestle in a Muay Thai ring. Still no problem, boleh aje.
Boleh.
So when the audience see, and even the fighters themselves, when they see these boys getting slammed or superplex from the top rope, doing a frog splash on the top rope, they'll be like, weh, macam mana diorang buat? Diorang tak sakit ke? That is when even the fighters, the Muay Thai fighters, they would start to respect my boys even more.
That's cool, man.
You can check out just Google or find on Facebook Elo Pura Fight. So this one was in Sadakan recently. And you'll see my boys doing crazy stuff in the Muay Thai ring, and you just start cringing because you know how hard the Muay Thai ring is.
Because I saw a picture of you on your Instagram. You were posting with some of the MMA guys kat Malaysia, and you were in an MMA ring. I was trying to correct some more. What is this about? Okay.
In fact, our show that we'll be doing on the 23rd of February will be in an MMA cage.
Okay. If me and Rick or any of the viewers, no, we are definitely doing it. Want to try out or just see what it's like. You know, been my dream for quite a while lah. Do you know how we and maybe people in general can approach just find our social media pages, APAC Wrestling, APAC, APAC Wrestling. There's a phone number there. You can just DM. And then just try to set an appointment for a free trial. So the reason why we give free trial is because we know that not a lot of people can withstand pro wrestling. A lot of bodybuilders, MMA fighters, they've tried before, and you know what? It's not for me. It's worse than I thought it's gonna be.
It's because of the pain, is it?
You need to be super coordinated. And the pain, because it's very difficult to be able to get the things that we teach. Because we'll teach you like actual proper wrestling, like grappling, chain wrestling, and then we'll teach you how to break falls, the stunt element. We'll teach you tumbling meaning gymnastics, like doing cartwheels and front flips, back flips and everything. Because these are all basics when it comes to doing pro wrestling.
It's like WWE Tough Enough. Is it?
So a lot of people cannot cope up with our training. So after the first trial itself, they'll be like, it's not for us. So
that means if you can't do a backflip, you cannot be a pro wrestler.
No.
Yeah, it's basics.
Fuck, I can't.
Backflip?
Backflip. Dude, can you do backflip? I did one time that we had like a dance performance. I did a backflip.
It's a basic. Say for example, if you're taking a Canadian destroyer, or you're taking a poison banana, for example, so you need to be able to do a backflip to receive it safely.
Yeah.
He does not know what a Canadian destroyer is.
Yeah.
If you see what this dude,
Trump wants to have Canada in US.
Not only Canadian, dude. Tropicana people, kau Subang ke, Ampang ke, my God, dude, is.
Yeah, what is the Canadian destroyer?
Yeah, you try YouTube.
Canadian destroyer.
Yeah. But how many students do you have currently?
Currently, signed up, I have about 15, 16.
Okay.
But the ones who show up, it's about per class. Usually, it's about 4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
But this one is very standard because wrestling is very, very tough. And a lot of them, once they sign up, will be like, you know what, let's skip class today.
Oh lah.
Chip small lah. I call them chip small. Chip small meaning like they want to become wrestlers, but
tapi
kejap ada kejap tak ada. Usually when there's shows, they'll come up for training because they want to get booked on the card. So a lot of these trainees, they want the glamour of being a pro wrestler in Malaysia.
Yeah.
But they don't want to do things that pro wrestlers are supposed to do, which is train, eat well, go to the gym and build your body.
Is it a career for them, or is it something that they do part-time? And how's finances like, the economy side of things?
So basically in Malaysia, Impact Wrestling is the only pathway to the WWE. Let's say for example, because I'm very well connected with the people there, and at the same time I'm wrestling under Reality of Wrestling. RW is now certified as WWE Developmental. So they look at the talents there as well. And if you're good enough in Impact Wrestling, you might get picked up to wrestle in ROW, and then you'll have WWE eyes on you as well.
Oh, that's so dope. Yeah, so man, like before we ended, is there anything you want to say to your fans watching, or maybe there's some new things coming up that you want to promote ke?
Okay. If you guys want to find out any perkembangan baru, you can just follow me on social media. I always share my stuff.
Yeah.
But just want to give advice to the younger generation, especially. There's no dream that is too big. Once I heard this audio clip from Denzel Washington. He said that a dream is just a dream if you don't take the steps towards that dream, right?
Yeah.
So it's something that I hold dear as well, because back then I dreamt of being a pro wrestler. But the reason why I can bring myself to become one is because I took the steps needed to be able to become one. So you can dream, tak kisahlah besar mana pun. Let's say you want to become an actor in Hollywood, for example. So you just need to identify the steps that you need to take in order to be where you are. Don't just say like, the easiest example is I want to have 6-pack abs. But you don't practice the lifestyle that you need to do to be able to get 6-pack abs.
Okay.
Simple as that. So that is the most relatable example that I can give. But it can go even bigger. You can scale it up even more. If you have a big dream, it's fine. If people laugh at you, lantak orang. You just need to be able to identify the steps, strategize, execute, trust the process, and eventually you'll get there.
But sometimes they do say like that, like, oh, like this is a dream that I want to go through, and then like you have to follow, like you said, like you have to create steps, right?
Yep.
Like, but sometimes people just don't know. Like, okay, what do I do first? Like, what are the steps? Like, how do you characterize your steps towards the dream that you want to be in at the point of time?
It all boils down to how much you want it, basically. So if you really want something, if they say what you said, for me it's excuses. Like, I don't know where to start. For example,
where to start, man?
Let's say, for example, if you want a 6-pack, again, a relatable experience. If you want a 6-pack, it's as easy as going online and look up for tips ways how to get. So that's a start. Same goes to, let's say, for example, if I want to become a doctor, you already know you need to excel in science, biology. You need to be able to take which course in order to get yourself there. So it's the same thing with any single dream. You just need to want it enough to not be able to give excuses.
Yeah, that's true,
Simple
man.
as that. Because I get a lot of people saying that I don't have time. And not just that, aku tak ada kabel, or aku tak ada duit, aku bukan kaya. For me, like even for me, I come from a poor background. I'm not privileged. I don't have generational wealth, which is the reason why I need to put in even more work in order to get to where I want to be. So when I hear all these my students or the younger generation, when they say these things, to me it's just noise, it's just excuses. And they get annoyed with that because they say, oh, you tak faham kita orang semua.
No. Bro, you are the example. If Nike punya thing tu can become a person, I think you would be it. Just do it.
Exactly. Like some of my students, when they ask me like, coach, how do I do this? So this is the steps they need to do. But then I'll send them a clip of Shia LaBeouf. Just do it.
I remember that video.
That's the perfect.
You said it yesterday. You said it today.
Perfect motivational video for everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you fierce with your students?
They dislike me. A lot of them. A lot of them dislike me, but I keep telling them over and over again that I'm here to coach you. It is my duty to make you the best version of yourself. If I were to coddle you and spoon feed you, or maybe like sugarcoat things, then you're not going to improve. You're not going to get where you want to be. So I'm very garang with them. They get very annoyed, but I hope they understand that it is what is best for them.
It comes from a good place, and you're looking out for their safety as well.
Exactly. Because if you're not doing well, I'm not going to say that you're doing good. Just keep up with the good work. If you're not doing well, I'll tell you specifically what you need to improve.
So that means if you come for the tryouts, like
he will ask us to be the audience. Okay, you guys hold the sign.
I'll be very specific with my. I don't berate people. I don't maki them. I'm very kind and nice to everyone. It's just that I'm brutally honest. That's it.
That's a great treat to have as a coach, man.
So with that, I think, like first of all, thank you so much, Shaukat, for being here. I think it was an honor, and I think it was I wouldn't say it's like not a dream come true. It was something that like we really wanted to have someone like you, because we kind of like we always interview people that are very, very. That are doing very great or pioneers in their own industries, and that's one of the biggest reasons why we actually wanted you to be in here as well, because like the fact that you were a pioneer of wrestling here in Malaysia, you are the leader when it comes to like APAC, towards your students, a leader in your own industry itself. I think it was such an honor to actually have you here in our podcast.
Thank you so much.
It's just that a lot of people see me at my top, but they don't know the struggles that I had to go through to be able to get there. And when you see me today, I'm such a confident person. I'm very, like, very poised and everything. But you should see me 10 years back.
People think like, oh, he rose to fame in a year, but no one knew the 6, 8 years, 10 years of work that you've put into being where you're at right now.
He doesn't have a camera crew documenting his whole
You know what
process.
you should do? You should totally do that.
Yeah, man.
Like, you know what you should do? You should open up your own YouTube channel, and you just buy an Osmo Pocket 3 or something like that.
Just document.
Just document yourself.
I'll probably do it my next US trip and see how.
I think
I'll watch it, man.
That'll be good for people, and that's also be very good for your grandchildren's.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, they'd be like, holy shit, like grandpa did this.
I took US. Like even my kids until today.
I'm sure, man. They must be so crazy proud of you, lah.
Definitely.
Seeing you on TV, insane, lah. So, man, that's from the definition of dream big, win big. Thank you so much, Mr. Shaukat.
My pleasure.
And we would like to thank everybody for tuning into this episode. And if you're tuning in until the end, I'm very, very sure that you guys have learned a couple of things, and I hope it kind of like drives you a bit more as well. I don't believe in motivation. I believe in like discipline. So even if like it helped you in wanting to pursue certain things that you're doing as well, it doesn't matter if it's wrestling or any other things that you actually envision to actually do. Make sure to actually just like walk the talk that you're actually doing. We have a living legend here who's actually like doing it, and the fact that like you are still doing it at the age that you're in right now, and you still have big dreams that big goals that you actually want to achieve. I feel that you're a type of person that you will never give up until like you actually achieve certain things.
Exactly. Like when people say that I'm too old to start this, I'm too old to start that.
Even we thought that we were too old to start a podcast.
Never too old to start anything.
That's true.
So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you so much to Shaukat as well for being here. We would like to end the episode in the note that do you have one last line to the audience before we end the episode?
Bye-bye je lah. Kau nak aku cakap apa?
I don't know.
Kau nak aku cakap
I'll help you guys.
Yes.
Please, anybody who's watching, moving forward, live your life with purpose.
Ooh. And with that, you are watching the A&R Show, everybody.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Ciao,
Have a great
guys.
week ahead. Ciao.